All right, that's setting up the pre-recording of the recording. The recording of the recording. That must be confusing. It's like we make a show.
Yep.
However, and it's a completed, finalized, nice packaged show. However, to do that, we have a Zoom conversation. And when we have that Zoom conversation, we record it. So now there's effectively two shows out of one show. And some people like watching the live stream. They like chit-chatting along in the chats.
Yep.
Yeah. And, that's nice.
Of course it is.
The people just like the finished, and then, most people don't actually watch the YouTube finished version. They just hear it in the radio.
Yeah.
I would like more people to watch my YouTube channel, Brandon. That's the
thing.
Oh,
yes.
We got to really trying to make happen.
Once I find that link, I will give it a share.
All right, I'm putting it on Twitter now.
11,000 people your way, hopefully. That's some people.
All 11,000.
Especially if they see my face on there, they'll be jumping on there. Oh yeah. Pretty much what would happen.
Well, I'm making a nice tweet. We're on here right now.
So yeah, this weather's been, well, at least the weather's been amazing this month. Not good for the dryness though, but 23 degrees today is absolutely gorgeous. And let's take a look at our high today. What was it? 22.2. Beautiful.
Okay, there we go. So that is
retweet. There you go. Give you a retweet, give you a like.
It's tweeted and it's on Facebook. And
all right,
the thronging hordes will come watch.
One is watching right now.
That's me.
That's you. That's good stuff. Flames are playing right now too, so I'll watch. Keep an eye on that. Yes.
I'll have the chat open so that I can read people's chats.
All right. We are live. Watch.
Wow. I just got a Plenty of Fish notification.
It's out. Oh, fish note.
Free spirit.
Wow.
Wow. That doesn't happen very often for me.
Oh, boy. Okay.
People message me. That means it's going to be a good show.
Oh, it should be.
Yeah.
It would be a good show. All right. So we've been
got a good feeling about this one. I got to stop looking at the TV because when I look at the TV, I got to look at my computer screen when I talk to you. Hey, everybody. I'm talking to you, not my monitor.
Not TV, eh?
Here I am. I'm chewing gum. I made some cool videos on my YouTube this week. One about martial arts. And I put up today one about the 210th anniversary of the death of Major General Isaac Brock at the Battle of Queenston Heights in Ontario. It's got 11 views so far. I'm rooting for it. I put some time into it. Even included the telling of his final day by Pierre Burton, Canadian author.
Yeah.
You don't know who he is? No?
I've heard about him. We heard about the kid who swallowed the chew toy, or 13-year-old.
Must be in the same caliber as Pierre Burton.
He's about, I think he's about 13. He's teasing his mom with the chew toy in his mouth, and his mom went to try to grab the chew toy out of his mouth, and he accidentally swallowed it, or part of it, the squeaking part. So, so every time he opens his mouth or he laughs, all you hear is this squeak out of his mouth, which is, I think this is it here. Hold on, I'll turn this up.
Reason, imagine that's why you're famous.
That's right. I didn't even. Oh, that's good. Let's see. Okay.
That is ridiculous.
That was good. Had to put that on.
That is ridiculous. 13 minutes before showtime.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the squeak part was in the esophagus there, so yeah, I had to fish it out.
Squeaky.
That's what happened there today.
Where was that?
In Texas,
Alberta. In Texas.
Houston, Texas.
Might as well be Alberta. Same place.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's
Albert, Texas. Albert, Texas, I call it.
Oh yeah.
In the piece up there in Dawson Creek, I call that Albertish Columbia.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much, yeah. Until you get about, say, just west of there, Chetwynd area, then it starts becoming more hillier.
Yeah, Chetwynd's so awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, I do like the chainsaw carving that they have going on there. It's always really cool.
Oh yeah.
They have a big tournament every year, and then they line the streets of Chetwynd with the all this year's contributions. Should the chainsaw artists wish to donate, which they usually do, and they're incredible.
Yeah.
And every year, then you come pick yours up from last year, and then maybe make another one. And it sits there for years. So the streets of the main street of Chetwynd is lined. I mean, look it up on the internet. It's always every year lined with a different monstrosity of chainsaw carvings, and some of them are just out of this world.
Yeah, I've been to the I've been to Caslow, BC, there, where they climb the logs, and then they try to there's a church, there's I think there's carvings as well, chainsaw carvings, and then they try to see who's the first to knock or saw the, I guess they're not really trees, they're more like poles or something. They try to chainsaw that down, and big tournament there, and it's a big deal at May Days, they call it. Yeah, during the May long weekend, kind of big festivities there. And then they have this parade that goes around twice, not once, twice.
So, yeah. There, it's pretty.
What's that?
It's pretty, Caslow.
Oh yes, yes. My grandparents had a condo there, so I spent a lot of summers there.
That's the little town with the boat right on the water, right?
Yeah. Yes, this Moy. You go in and you get to pull the leather, and the way, and it still blows its horn. That's for sure.
It sure does blow.
It does. And yeah, the museum's pretty cute in there too. Oh yeah, I just like that. Through the whole SS Boy, what they call it, and then across the street they got that. Oh, what do they got? Oh, they got the guy's burger joint there across the street there.
The murder joint, yes, right. Where the gunfight happened, you mean?
I think so, yeah.
The Kootenai Kid and Spokane Sam.
Yeah.
I'm not Googling.
Not Googling?
I just know my history. That's why you should watch my video on Major General Isaac Brock I put out today.
Oh, yeah. Know your history. That's good. Yeah. And then, yeah, we would go to that Treehouse restaurant down the street there. It's really nice. Eggs Benedict there is amazing. Shout out Caslow, BC. Bet there's a lot of cool stories from that Caslow hotel too. Yeah.
Yeah, I really only spent just moments in Caslow.
Oh, yeah.
You know, 2 hours or something, right?
Yeah.
And thought every time, my goodness, it's pretty here. I'd like to come spend more time and climb some of the mountains. Then every time I take that little drive between Caslow and New Denver, there's a building right along at the heights that's quite alike in design to my building here in Wells.
Okay, yeah.
And,
yeah.
You don't see that very often, so it's, it stands out to me, right? And then you have the New Denver mining where Silverton and all that there was plenty of union strikes in the 30s and aggressive ones. Those mines have stories. I believe the road washed out to the mine there, the historic mine.
I think so.
I don't know what the status of it is yet. That was a year ago, so you think maybe they got it open?
Probably they should, yeah. And that 31 south there through the Coffee Creek area. That is sketchy in the winter. Holy smokes.
Well, all those roads in the Kootenays, they just have that. Whoa. And
yeah.
I would hate living there for that reason. Like, it's just too narrow. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I live in the mountains here. It's a pretty windy highway, but it's not 60, 70, 50, 60, 30, 60, and drop offs. And it's just really steep. And it's north south running valleys. So if you live in it in the dead of the winter when the sun's low, you only get like a minute of sunshine a day,
Yeah, we were
all over the Kootenays.
It was like 4 o'clock, boom, nighttime. 3 o'clock. yeah.
Well, it's even worse. Like when you have the mountain ranges, like if you live in Winlaw or you live in, or on the other side, you say you live in Weimar or some of these small towns that are deep in the Kootenay valleys, and the sun in the summertime, sure, it comes up over top, but in the wintertime, it's like behind the mountain till 11:30 in the morning. Then it's between, and then behind the mountains again, and it's dark a lot in the winter.
Oh yeah,
in these towns, right? And that makes it's not particularly cold, but it's just cold enough to be frozen, but it's warm enough with the sunshine to kind of melt it. So you get a lot of icy conditions on the roads and slushy conditions.
That's
gross driving. For how much snow we get here, it's often so much more powder.
Yeah.
It's the champagne.
Oh yeah.
You got 5 minutes till showtime.
5 minutes of showtime.
Hi, Tattooed Kitty. Hi, Christine Jensen. 5 minutes till showtime, everybody, on the Comedeoro-logical report. 5 minutes till Frankie gets here.
Well, I guess last week or the other week there, a couple minutes late due to internet problems there with Fiona and there. Oh, I think still a couple hundred still without power since Fiona there. So
it was
just last legs of that. The power outages across PEI, parts of Nova Scotia there.
He had to update his computer. He had to update Windows.
Oh yeah, he had to update his computer too. Yeah.
He's been without power so long. He finally turned his computer on at the end of the hurricane. Finally come on our show, and
let's do an update. Hate when that happens.
I like how he described it. The whole world had to do it.
That's right. And then I guess next week I've got invited to go through a haunted house next Thursday, so I might be late next Thursday. Brandon Howe gets to go through a haunted house. It's supposed to be very, very scary, but I probably think it's. We'll see. I'll let you know if it's really scary. If not,
I get to live in a haunted house.
You get to live in a haunted house, yes. I go. They say that it's not for kids, so there's a pretty good. I think the scariest haunted house I went through was at Universal Studios. There, that was legit. Down there, California. I actually screamed. Maybe not like scream, but ah, yeah, kind of like that. So that's my other. They haven't really done a really good job of scaring me though. I walk right through. I could poke that guy dressed up in a werewolf costume. I give him a smack.
I've wanted to turn this building into like a Halloween attraction, but some of the problem is that it's actually too dangerous just to allow random people to walk through. Like, for example, on my big staircase, it's a really wide staircase that goes up, but it's super dark. But I have all kinds of like tools and sharp things hanging.
Oh yeah,
that's like kind of like that big wide staircase is used as like a tool storage wall as well. So it's like, and then there's like the third floor has no barrier; it's just a drop off, and I still have to make it safe enough to like, and then I could add the horror, right? But it's yeah, too lethal to be a horror house.
I was supposed to be doing the jail and bail thing tomorrow, where raise money and they can release me from a fake jail, but they canceled it.
Oh, yeah. It'd be awesome if they did that, and then no one donated, and you're just stuck in there.
Yeah.
Especially because it's Friday, and then you don't see the judge till Monday.
That's right.
Spend the whole weekend in there.
Well, it was at the Legion, so I'd be fed and stuff. Yeah, I'd be able to do I'd get away with a lot there, but
yeah.
And they're gonna have actual people come and arrest me too from the radio station. That was the cool part. Get to ride in a cop car.
Yeah, cool.
But go to Canada today.
You haven't been lucky enough to just have that happen.
Oh yeah.
So I've sent the message to you.
Hold on. Yeah.
Holding on.
Okay.
Any minute now, we're gonna have Frankie.
Oh yeah.
7:01. He's not here. That's like a worrying trend.
Yes.
What happened to punctual Frankie?
He's usually right on the dot.
Yeah, not a minute before, and then doesn't stay a minute after.
Yeah.
He's very business, that Frankie Mcdonald.
I'm the person who shows up early for everything, as you can tell.
I'm like that in real life too. Like being late stresses me out, and just like to be there and kind of settle in.
Yeah, settle in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we're just gonna keep talking. I guess we could just start recording, Brandon, and let's start running the show.
All right.
Do it because if we don't have some sort of order, everything will go. Okay.
Go sideways.
Oh, I got to clear my throat here. Good morning, Prince George. Good afternoon, Winnipeg. This is the Comedy Meteorology Report. I am Joey Only, your host here in Wells, British Columbia. This is your show about comedy and meteorology. Comedeoro-logical. It's a science that Brandon Hauk and Frankie and we kind of invented. It's a science of how funny the weather can be. Right, the weather's funny business in Canada. That's true. Hello to all you meteorology students there, University of Winnipeg. You're listening to us, CKUW 95.9 FM, and Prince George, you're hearing us for 88.7 FM. Greetings, everybody out there. We do have with us, as always, Brandon Hauk, who is a radio man and weatherman down in Brooks, Alberta. He's on 105.7 FM, Real Country Radio Station down there. Tonight, he's not on Real Country Radio Station. He's not producing a Brooks Bandits hockey game. He's not doing anything. He's just here with us. And then we always have Frankie Mcdonald, of course, in Sydney, Nova Scotia. He's the man of the hour. He's the feature attraction of the show. The man who's got 280,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's very famous for his weather reports, for his guy tries to eat 50 hot dogs at once. Guy acts like a dog. Frankie's videos. If you don't know who Frankie Mcdonald is, welcome to the show. For the first time. I hope you find out soon. He's almost never late. This week he seems to be late. I don't know what's going on. He just had a hurricane out there. Last week he was substantially late because when he finally turned his computer on after the hurricane to join us for the show, then Windows tried to give him a whole bunch of updates, and they said, sorry, Frankie, you have to update your computer. So he was half an hour late for the show. He was quite distressed. He had to let us know the whole world had to do these updates on their Windows computers. Until then, until we have Frankie and Imogen Cookie Bailey down in Victoria, British Columbia, who's just getting home from work and taking a shower, she says right now, so she'll be along in a little while. We do have Brandon the Man with us already. Brandon Hauk, how you doing down there in Brooks, Alberta? Got dark early, didn't it?
Oh, yes. Just flick of a switch and it's dark. It gets pretty dark quickly. I think sunset is about, well, we do the far forecast here. Sunset's about 6:38, and then, about 7:30, it's dark. Boom. So lights out, and it's going to stay that way until we get to the spring season here. That's when we'll start seeing the light again at this hour, ever again.
Absolutely. It'll get darker and darker. And I hate it. That's the one thing about winter I don't like is just how much time you get in the dark. It's some of the hardest parts to deal with, I think, personally. The weather, though, has been, despite, except for a cold front kind of sliding through briefly, been really fantastic in most of Western Canada. Maybe not so much for Winnipeg. But what's the scoop on that, Brandon?
Yeah, so we had that cold front go through Monday. And it was a wild little front that went through. We actually had some thunderstorms. So yes, some thunderstorms develop in Alberta, and some of those thunderstorms actually produced a little small hail and the strong winds along that front. We had wind gusts at least up to 90 to 100 kilometers an hour along that front as it swept its way through Monday night. And Monday, our daytime high was 27 degrees. So it was beautiful, I have to say. Well above average. Didn't break any records, though, with the daytime high. So then as we went on in Tuesday, we had a coolish kind of day, but those strong winds moved off into Saskatchewan. And in Saskatchewan, they've had the winds Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, gusting anywhere from 90 to 100 kilometers an hour. And Estevan, so far, the strongest wind yesterday at 104 kilometers an hour. And with how dry it is, some of those dry lake beds have been the winds have been picking up that dust and blowing it into North Dakota there. So they've had blowing dust issues as well. So that's been the last couple of days, and they had wind gusts again today in Estevan, at least 96 kilometers an hour. So very strong winds. So that's a fairly potent system that's stalled out over Churchill, Manitoba for the last couple of days. And it allowed for that colder air mass to take over Saskatchewan and Manitoba. So they're on the trough side of this jet stream. So the cooler air mass is working its way towards the eastern half of the country as we go into next week. So the Great Lakes will also get snow showers eventually, and they've also had quite a bit of rain as well. But yeah, cold enough that it's snowing in Winnipeg at this hour. They got a light snow shower. Temperature has been stuck at 0 for the last couple of hours, and they have snow squall watches and warnings off Lake Winnipeg because the lakes are still open. And you have that cold air going over that warm water of Lake Winnipeg, and you get your snow squalls, and you turn up that lake effect machine. And some areas, especially near the Barrens area there, could potentially see maybe 10, 20, maybe up to 30 centimeters of snow, all depending on where these snow squalls reach landfall at best there for portions of Manitoba. So that's been the situation in the eastern prairies. So they're going to be in for cool, kind of unstable, kind of rawish kind of weather for the next couple of days here, at least into southern Manitoba and even into the beginning of next week before things start to improve a little bit. But for us in the western prairies, especially in Alberta and through British Columbia, the upper ridge of high pressure, the kind of a Rex block pattern that's been locked into place is going to continue into next week. So today we were 22 degrees here in Brooks. Tomorrow we'll probably be at about the same kind of temperature. Another weak cold front will go through Friday. Another cold front will go through Friday night. Yeah, Friday night into Saturday. So that'd be the 14th into the 15th there. That'll bring another blast of wind. So Saskatchewan, you're going to get a break from the wind on the Friday there. And then the winds come back for Saturday and Sunday.
I'd like to introduce to myself and Joey.
Hello, how's it going?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Comedeoro-logical report.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Hey, Frankie.
I'd like to say hi to Joey.
Hey, Joey.
Hi. Welcome to our show.
British Columbia.
British Columbia?
Yeah.
Good shot, we're originally from Sydney, Whitney Pear. I am where Frankie does all his videos, but I live in Halifax now, and we're just home for a few days. My wife and I, my boys, visiting my family and her family. So we always run into Frankie. Frankie's a huge celebrity, as you probably know. So my boys wanted to get their picture taken with him again. But yeah, do you want to get a picture taken?
Yeah.
Every Thursday night we make a radio show, and that's what we're doing right now. So really nice to have you come on. Good to hear your voices. Nice to see that you're home in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Mind, Frankie? I don't mind.
Frankie gets a lot of pictures taken with people.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Frankie.
Hi, Joey. I'm doing great so far.
So we record the show on Thursday night. It's the 13th of October right now. 210 years to the day that Major General Isaac Brock died at the Battle of Queenston Heights, Ontario. Check out my YouTube, Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude. I made a video about it today. It's pretty good. 11 people watched it. I could use some help with that. As opposed to Frankie Mcdonald over here, who doesn't need any help with his YouTube channel. We're going to talk to him in about 20 seconds. So we record the show on the 13th. You'll be hearing it in Prince George on the 15th. You'll be hearing it on the 17th in Winnipeg. So when you're hearing us talk about weather, keep in perspective that, this is not a live show for the radio, but we are recording live on my YouTube. If you want to see the radio show, please check out Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude. We record the show Thursdays live on my channel.
I got something else to say. Somebody all the way from Illinois called me.
Who was that, Frankie?
A fan of mine from Illinois.
Well, without much further ado, here we have Frankie, the weatherman, Frankie Mcdonald in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Frankie, how you doing?
I'm doing great so far, and the weather is cool outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia. There's atmospheric river in eastern United States right now. They had to cancel. They had to postpone the Yankees game till tomorrow because there's so much rain in New York City. They had to postpone tonight's game for New York Yankees because the rain is so bad. It's going to advance on to Western Nova Scotia, eventually Eastern Nova Scotia, Saturday overnight, and the Sunday. It's going to bring a lot of rain. Then there's another rain heading for Nova Scotia on Wednesday as well, because it's going to bring snow in Ontario. It's going to bring lots of snow in Toronto and places like this, because the cold air is going all the way down to Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. Even Atlanta's going to get colder than average temperatures as well. And British Columbia is going to remain warmer than normal until the atmospheric river arrives. And British Columbia is going to bring so much rain in Vancouver, Seattle, and Portland, and all these places. And it's going to bring a lot of fires in California until the cooler weather arrives in California, because the weather pattern's odd. It's an odd weather pattern, driving out of warm air all the way up to Nunavik region of Quebec.
What else is going on in the world of weather, Frankie?
Europe is getting a cooler weather all across Europe, excluding UK, France, and Spain and Portugal. Germany's getting colder than average temperatures, so Poland, Belarus, and Moscow, Russia, Norway, Finland, Sweden's getting cooler than average temperatures. India's monsoon season signed off now. So is China. It's still getting monsoon rain in China. It's going to die off too, because they'll begin a dry season. Australia, southeastern Australia is getting lots of thunderstorms. Warm air, cold air fighting each other. This is spring of the year in Australia, New Zealand. And South Africa is bringing lots of warm weather and cold air fighting each other. Their summer starts in a couple of months away. Argentina and those places are getting a lot of rain and snow and things like this right now. And Japan is getting lots of rain in Japan too.
Brian Schmidt's out there, and he's watching the show on YouTube, but I'd rather him be in the studio with us. Brian, I mean, you got the link. Come join us. We want to hear about what's going on in Oregon. It's been super warm down there. Frankie, how warm has it been down in Oregon?
Very warm in Oregon right now.
Been warm for weeks down there, into the 30s.
I just sent him a link to invite.
Yeah, we need some of that. Brian Schmidt from Portland Weather Uncensored. Very funny guy. Very funny guy. Frankie, what show has he been on this week?
I was on a Chrissy Mayer's other show, or before your show, plus last night. I was on Ham Radio New York City show, and I was on Compound Media related shows, and I was on another show called The Ghetto Basement, Owen Gonzalo.
So what's the weather in Sydney like now after the hurricane?
Right now, they're just cleaning up, replacing telephone posts, because they're weakening telephone posts and leaning telephone posts, because Hurricane Fiona did it.
It's not very cold there, it doesn't look like. You're not wearing a toque. How cold is it?
Very warm. Very cold. Pretty cold out in my area.
Pretty cold. Pretty cold out in this area. Brennan Houck, are you still around there with us?
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to get you just to finish up.
And I just reminded him. I sent him a message.
Good. Brian Schmidt, get on the show. Brandon, how finish up what you were saying there, if you can recall where you were at. You were talking about Western Canada weather.
Yeah, so we had the ridge here in the west. We've got the troughing in the east, and that's going to continue for the next number of days. And for us in British Columbia and Alberta, we're going to continue to see that dominant high pressure system well into the beginning of next week, with temperatures once again pushing low to even mid-20s. We cool off slightly for Friday into Saturday, with that weak cold front going through. Might produce a few scattered showers. That would be just about it. Nothing too significant with that. And we'll also bring back the wind to the eastern prairies just fairly briefly, but not as strong as what we saw the last couple of days in Saskatchewan especially. And we'll see that warmer air mass start to take over, especially for British Columbia and Alberta. Saskatchewan will also warm up as well, probably pushing low to mid-teens. Manitoba is going to struggle a little bit more so as we go into next week. And looks like maybe by the end of next week there might be a pattern change, but we'll keep an eye on that depending on how that atmospheric river behaves in the long-term forecast.
So here's some strange examples on this Thursday night. The hot spot in British Columbia, 7:16 at night, 13th of October. 20.5 degrees at Puncy Mountain, which is usually the cold place. 5.7 degrees at Blue River. Hotspot in Canada, 21.7 degrees at Deadman Valley, Nunavut Territory, and minus 13.9 degrees Celsius at Margaret Lake, Yukon Territory. So that is some very strange fluctuations. I'll throw up a picture of the jet stream in a minute just to show, but things looking still pretty nice. I mean, Prince George, you got sun in the forecast in to start the work week. Lots of 19s, 18s, and maybe some 14s with some mixed sun and clouds through the middle of the week, but looking real nice. And look who has showed up to the show, Brian Schmidt, who was watching on YouTube. Here's the problem. I only have 3 people watching on YouTube, and I'm like, hey, why watch? You could be here with us. Brian Schmidt, talk to us about the weather in Portland, Oregon. How warm has it been?
It's just been epic, Joe. You know, today, for instance, 29 degrees Celsius. The record for the date was like 26. We're ending up with about 9 record highs in 2 weeks in Portland. It's unprecedented. Already in August and September, we by far had the hottest of both those 2 months ever. And now October is doing the same thing. It's quite alarming. And I know that it's been in the 70-degree range in the Fraser River, upper Fraser River Valley this week.
Yes, it's been nice. I mean, we did have a cool front breeze through Tuesday, Wednesday, and for a moment we saw what looked like it wanted to snow here in the mountains of Wells, but no, it's been. I've never seen anything quite like it. I've had flowers blooming in my yard. I mean, it's been quite bizarre. So you're just saying a record breaking. So in historical context, Brian, Frankie was saying earlier too that this is a strange pattern.
It really is. It's been a high amplitude pattern that hasn't been moving. Ridges and troughs have been staying at the same longitude for long periods of time. And for instance, the most 27 degrees Celsius, we've only seen 6 days like that ever in 100 years of history in the month of October. We're looking at 12 days this month at a minimum reaching 27 Celsius. It's just simply amazing. I love it. But there is some forest fire smoke. This area has only seen, let's see, my area for 4 months, it has rained like a half a centimeter in 4 months. That's how much rain we've had.
That's crazy.
Yes, it's only rained like twice.
So I got up here the jet stream map right now. So we see North America, of course, down in Oregon, very warm. Southern British Columbia, quite warm. Alberta, quite warm. Warmest place right now in Canada is actually somewhere up here in Northwest Territories or Nunavut, one of the two. And then you have the cold front blasting down this weird bulge into central Canada where snow is happening. Yeah, it is a strange pattern. Is this climate change?
They even got a blocking pattern that's going to drive the warm air all the way up to parts of Nunavut.
That's what's happening. Is this climate change, Frankie?
Climate change because the Arctic ice caps are melting up in the North Pole. So the ice is collapsing in Antarctica as well.
Brian, is this climate change?
It definitely is. And if anybody has taken a look at the sea surface temperatures in the North Pacific Ocean, right now, a record anomaly is occurring south of the Aleutian Chain Islands. Water temperatures that have never been experienced in the North Pacific. And that is going to affect the strength of the jet stream. At our latitude in Portland, it may weaken the jet stream and force storms towards Canada or northern Washington, which could make the drought last even longer, especially in southern Oregon and California, where they've really been dry for about 4 or 5 years.
Well, and I've seen consistently images of Lake Mead. It's now just a big valley with little boats at the bottom and what looks like a river. It should have been a lake. Your water situation down there has been extreme. And what you're saying too, I kind of had this premonition, and Frankie's been talking about it, that we're going to get a lot of precipitation in British Columbia this winter. And I seem to think that's what's going to happen when the ocean finally gets angry enough and starts finally chewing up some storms and throwing them in.
Oh, definitely. The question is will it make it down to the lower 48? Because sometimes with these very warm ocean waters, it delays the rainy season, it delays the mountain snow season. And we're starting to see the ski resorts are opening later and later on average over the last 20 years here because of that.
And then we find British Columbia on the south side of the jet stream, so warmer than average temperatures, but much more precipitation. That's going to mean, Frankie, what is it going to mean? He's not here. We've lost him. Maybe though he's out of Wi-Fi range temporarily. Or fluctuating.
I'd like to hear Brandon's take on the snow that's occurring in southern Saskatchewan. Is that true, Brandon?
Not much snow in Saskatchewan, but Manitoba's getting the snow this last couple of days. They've had all the wind in Saskatchewan, so they haven't had much in the way of precipitation.
Here.
Dry.
Yes, I saw that there was about 100-mile-per-hour winds across North and South Dakota yesterday as that low pressure propagated east across the prairies of Canada. Very windy.
Oh, yeah. Very strong winds. I think 104 kilometer an hour wind gust was recorded in Estevan yesterday and 94 again today. So it's still very windy because that low kind of stalled out there over Manitoba. And now they're dealing with some light snow in Winnipeg, but a lot of it's been melting on contact because it is the first of the season. But we'll have to watch the lake effect in Manitoba as well, especially off Lake Winnipeg, where you don't get a lot of lake effect there because usually when it snows, the lake kind of freezes over, but the lake hasn't frozen over yet. So it's perfect ingredients for lake effect.
Brandon, is this climate change or is this just, something that just happened once in a blue moon?
It's kind of both. I go with a bit of climate change there, and then also typically you get these kind of patterns because I'm looking back at my old records here for our last couple of days, and we haven't really broken any record highs here in my area at all this month, but the records back to 1920 at 31 degrees, 1964 29 degrees, and 1934 1936 were also very hot years in the month of October for us in southern Alberta. So however, as I mentioned, we haven't really reached 30 yet this month so far.
Here I got a picture of Pacific Ocean temperatures. Brian, does this illustrate what you were talking about?
Well, not exactly, Joe. So if you pull up, that's the actual temperature of the ocean. But if you pull up the SST anomaly, that's where you see this massive blob of water. And it encompasses most of the North Pacific, but out around the international date line and then eastward, south of the Aleutians, it is just dark red. And the Joe Bastardi, who is a well-renowned meteorologist in the United States, has said that it's the hottest ocean temperature ever recorded in the fall in the North Pacific right now.
Insane.
And did you hear what I got something else to say? And did you hear what I was talking to Imogen earlier? She's doing good so far. Imogen's doing great as well, and I'm doing great today. And did you hear about that? And welcome to
the second half of the show, Frankie. This is the Comedeoro-logical Report. You're hearing us on C4 88.7 FM, CKW 95.9 FM. We got Brendan Houck in Brooks, Alberta. We got Brian Schmidt in Portland, Oregon from Portland Weather Uncensored. We got Frankie Mcdonald in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And just joining us right now, two people, Gabriel Berardo and Imogen Cookie-Bailey. Gabriel Berardo's down there in Southern Ontario, and Imogen Cookie-Bailey's down in Victoria, British Columbia. Gabriel, thank you for the rap video this week.
Yep.
Pretty cool, but you're not very happy about the Maple Leafs, are you? 0-2 to start the season. I haven't been watching because I'm just you know what?
Wait, what? 0-2? They actually, I'm like, they've actually just, won
Did they win?
game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Right. I mean, a very scary, win though, because you know what I mean. It comes down to the empty, net and everything like that, and then you gotta, clear the puck a bunch of times and all that stuff. And you know what I mean? It almost goes in the empty net, and then you're like, oh my god. And then it was over, and I'm like, all right,
They got to win 5 games before I can. But I'm having trouble finding links to watch the internet and blah blah blah. Olivier Forbes-Bouillon just joined us, and I think we got Pete Galenko down in Colorado. Olivier up in Kuguktuk. Suddenly we got a whole panel, everybody. Imogen, how you doing? How's your week? Thank you for the videos.
Yeah. Pretty good. I don't know. I don't even remember what videos I sent you. I'm sure it was something a little bit insane though, or psychotic, or just plain boring. Every day is the same. Dear Lord, why am I here? Kill me.
And we got Olivier Forbes-Bouillon walking around in the dark. And how you doing up there, Olivier?
I feel like I'm Frankie right now. I know he's always walking around outside doing his live streams and stuff. So I'm doing great. It's snowing pretty hard here. Just leaving the office right now, heading home. But yeah, things are good. How's everything where you guys are?
Hot and sunny.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, you know what? You might want to ask Imogen about all the smoke that's coming into Victoria. There's been a ton of smoke right around coming out of the northern Cascades towards Vancouver, BC, and Victoria the last week.
Yeah, dry and hot out there. It's very scary stuff.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I live in a stoner city. It's always a little cloudy here. Just saying, there's always a little bit of fog on the ocean. It can be clear and blue, but at 6 a.m, it's looking a little foggy and misty. So a little smoke rolling in is kind of par for the course. It happens. We get the odd little cloud of someone else's problem rolls across us, and we react by dumping raw sewage in the ocean. So, it's a little give and take kind of thing.
One problem we have with Olivier walking around is all we're going to hear is your feet.
What the hell, Olivier?
Muted.
Come on. Slippers, man.
Yeah, tiptoe in that snow. But can you, while we got you on, Olivier, how is the weather in Kuguktuk compared to normal winters? Everyone here is sort of talking about the fact that we've had some climate anomalies going on this fall. You've not been home much of this fall, but you're back now. You've been everywhere.
Yes, we've had tons of summery weather last September, and we were a bit of an anomaly here for the rest of the year. Like most places already have snow and have snowmobiles going around. And this is our first real snowstorm. I don't know if I suck at using this, but yeah, flip. There we go. So you can see this is quite a bit of snow right here right now.
Oh damn!
I hope
super
it keeps
jelly,
coming
man.
down.
Jealous.
Feels
You're
like
jealous?
a nice Ontario springtime right now. It's nice. Here, I can throw a snowball.
That is awesome.
Good snow.
Dude.
Good snow. Good snow.
It looks delicious. I want it.
I love doing that. I do.
We're going to have mountains of snow here in Wells, British Columbia soon. Gabriel Berardo, what's the weather been like in Ontario?
Oliver, I want that white stuff up my nose.
I mean, it's been quite, good. I guess recently we had some, I guess, rain right on the last few, days and everything like that. But we could have some snow actually next week. I hope not, because I don't want the snow yet. It's too, early for that to kind of happen. Although it's been quite, seasonal here. Nothing too good, as in like any big like storms recently. Colorado lows. We haven't really seen any of those yet. So the weather just been quite, I guess, flat. Like just been flat. You know what I mean? Like we had a few pretty warm days here and there. we also had a few pretty, like cold, like mornings, everything like that. Frost advisories sometimes. Sometimes there was like, 20 outside, 20 like 1 or 22 degrees. Sometimes there was like, 11, 12 degrees, and it's just been kind of like that and flat, classic fall weather. Leaves are actually, falling actually. Loving the fall, colors out there a lot. I'm loving the fall, colors there a lot, but right on the weather just been quite, like flat. As I said, there's no big storms on the way. It looks to get pretty active actually heading into next week, and well, maybe actually the week after, hopefully. So then I could, get to that storm tracking maybe, hopefully at some exact, like point. Although weather quite flat, wrapping been quite, good. I actually have, I've sent you a Leafs wrap, Joey. It actually was a pretty, good one actually. Okay, I'm not even gonna, lie about that. Freestyle, so I mean it was all off my, my head, and I hope that, everybody on the show likes it later on. Maybe if you see it, whatever, I don't know. I sent it in the video. It wasn't really a live thing. It was kind of just a video thing, and I sent it through. So then it will, be just a little bit, like easier to kind of, like hear it maybe. Sometimes it's not so, like easy throughout like the show. So yeah.
Controlled environment.
Yeah. I mean, right. So the weather, flat, wrapping, okay, life, okay. And that's all you gotta know from me.
The weather, Ontario, flat like the topography.
Yeah.
Topography's not flat in Colorado, is it, Galenko? How's the weather down there, buddy?
Weather's been a little bit cooler today than it has been the past few days, but it's been pleasant though. Nothing too crazy going on. It's been a pretty good week for weather out here. Pretty pleasant. I'm honestly surprised that it's been staying as nice as it has this time of year. I expected it to be much colder by now. But it's been lovely. It's been lovely weather. I mean, there's been random times where there's like high winds. I remember the other day I was stopped somewhere and there's all these big gusts of winds out of nowhere. I was like, oh, it almost seemed like there was going to be a tornado or something, though there wasn't. And
is there a tumbleweed?
No tumbleweeds in the area that I was driving in. Just lots of leaves and dust and stuff. And,
is that what you call the Chinook wind there?
I guess so.
I believe that's what it is that he's experiencing, possibly. Would you say so, Brandon Hauk?
Haven't really noticed a classic Chinook pattern yet. Those are usually when you get these high base showers, convective showers that they kind of want to be thunderstorms, and they produce their own downburst winds. So that's probably what you encountered there with these kind of high burst showers or fairly high base showers that sometimes these showers evaporate before reaching the ground and their own wind. So that's usually the case. And then we also had that nasty cold front that came through a couple days ago that I don't think Colorado got affected by that one, but that same storm system produced quite a bit of rain, quite a bit of wind that extended all the way down to Kansas, I think. Yeah. So probably getting a piece of that too as well. Yeah.
Well, and also in places like Boulder, Colorado, you would get some strong inversions, so downsloping winds off the mountain sometimes. So,
yeah. Although I'm really not in Boulder most of I sleep in Boulder. I drive in Boulder sometimes, but I really like there's some really good Latin food in some parts of Colorado outside of Denver. Is one of my. I went to this place called La Jolla earlier, and it reminded me of Frankie. They had a cheeseburger, they had cheeseburgers there, and then they had like a plastic cheeseburger on the wall, like display, and some other stuff. I posted pictures on my Twitter, but I don't know. Daydreaming, scheming about vacations and beautiful beaches.
Frankie, how's the weather in Ukraine this week?
Right now in Ukraine, it's getting colder in Ukraine and Russia. That's where Michael Senikoff is. As of right now, how's Michael Senikoff doing?
Honestly, I was a little bit worried the other day because he sent me a video where there was a bombing, and then I asked him if he was okay, and he said he was okay. And then I haven't really had a full discussion with him since then. So I think he's doing all right. Though I was concerned for a minute because he called me that he wasn't answering. I was trying to call him, and he wasn't calling back, and he had sent me a video of like some airstrike. So I don't know if he's just laying low right now or what. So I don't know. Pray for him, but I think he usually ends up always being all right. So
and the people like Bollock and Kirill, they get a VPN.
My question to everyone on the panel this week, my question to all of you, is this World War III or
no?
Is this World War IV or V, or is it maybe
like
World War VI? Depending on, do you count
Napoleon?
Do you count the 7 years? Do you count the 7 Years' War between the British and the French? Do you count Napoleon? Do you count? Well, then you got World War I. Then you got Cold War had some certain World War moments. I mean, how many 50 million people died in Cold War related battles and death squads but then the war against terror. So which World War are we in right now? Is it a World War?
That means it's
why are we keeping track? They basically all are. Once you got like a third party involved instead of just like one-on-one, it's now, tag team. It's now on a global scale.
It could be regional. It could be regional.
Now North Korea is fighting against Japan.
Well, North Korea is fighting against everyone. I mean, let's face it. The previous president was the only one who actually kept North Korea in check. One meeting and they shut the hell up. So you say what you want. The dude got that little doggy to stop barking.
Let's
get some order here. I'm going to ask everybody individually. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And the quietest person's Olivier. Olivier, is this World War X?
It's World War 15, actually. I think, personally, the word World War is just used as a scare tactic these days because every single war we're having is more than one-on-one. So it's more than one-on-one, allies versus Axis. Okay, yeah, you can compare it like that. But there's always, like Imogen said, there's always a third party involved. Someone that might be neutral, somebody that might not be neutral, somebody that might support this guy, somebody that might support that guy. So, we could have World War X right now, World War 15, and it's just war. And I think the term World War is used. Everyone's afraid of World War III. Everybody. You say World War III, it's scary. So is it World War III or is it World War X? Or is it just war?
It's
war. No.
It's worth noting that the term World War came, was popularized. World War became more of an element of social consciousness when media was suddenly available to cover what was happening. For the first time, people were seeing imagery from the battlefield and were able to actually conceptualize what it looks like to be there. They were able to actually see what soldiers are seeing firsthand and put faces to the people that they heard about. So the propaganda had less pull because all of the support everyone, but now you're seeing what those people look like. You're seeing what they do, what they're participating in. So social consciousness changed and the term World War took on a certain weight to it that didn't previously exist. So that as a propaganda device, as a marketing tool, it is used as a scare tactic. So yeah, Olivia, you're definitely on the right track there. And if you look at geopolitics and global economy, all countries have a certain interconnectivity. There are no neutral parties anymore because that simply doesn't exist. To say
Gabriel Berardo, is this World War I?
World War I is from 1914 to 1918.
No, listen, look, I think that it could be it could be World War in like the future, maybe from now. I don't know when or not, but I mean it's not looking too good, like, right? It's not looking too good right now. And obviously at some exact point it's gonna happen at some exact point. That's that I think that's what I think. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I think. I don't know.
Brandon,
it's
how
just gonna
is this the never-ending
Nobody's
war?
concerned about a war of any sort.
Is this the never-ending war of George Orwell?
I guess we'll have to see. I kind of touch on kind of what Olivia said, and it all depends if we also have other countries into this as well. We'll have to see what the future holds there. Kind of like predicting if this is going to be EF5 tornado or this is going to be like a Category 5 hurricane a week away or months away, something like. Yeah, can't really tell what happens. Yeah.
Fun fact: in the 1990s, the war in Serbia ended after they stopped doing any regulations on drugs at all, and they had the highest prescription rate of benzodiazepines, including Valium. Almost 30% of their population was on Valium, and the war ended.
So
I'm not worried about any sort of wars in the future at all.
Did World War I even end? You're on mute right now, Brian, because of the sound of your plates, but I'd be curious to find out from you, did World War I ever end? Is it still World War I? Oh, you're
And what's
muted
for
still.
supper?
I think that's Brian's way of saying he's washing dishes and his hands are wet, so he can't touch the mute button. Hey, there he is.
Sorry, making the kids dinner, you know.
That's okay.
Yeah, World War One. When did that end? 1921.
1918, November 11th. But I could argue that World War I didn't, in fact, ever end. That it just it was really one long progression of the same damn war.
World War II started in 1939, ended in 1945.
Thank you for the history, Frankie. I wasn't sure on those years.
Loud out there.
Can we get a fact checker on those fingers?
Brian, would you rather smoke some weed and spend time with your family and eat some good food and or go to war?
And did you hear about that, Olivier? A lot of those Russians crossing over to Alaska.
It depends who your family is, I guess, really. I mean, for some people, it's like, get me out of this house.
I don't know.
Yeah, did everybody read the story about the Russians sneaking over to Alaska? They took a boat 50 miles across onto St. Lawrence Island. Now they're claiming asylum in Alaska.
Sweet.
Really? That's good for media. That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Alaska has zero
I'll
sales
people
tax.
all
I want to
united
claim
and
asylum.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Random guys surviving around, trying to escaping polar bears, grizzly bears, all that's floating around in the frozen wastes of Alaska, looking for a better place to live.
And they went to
It's
Alaska.
just be too cold in Russia, I think.
Ew.
I played the Minnesota Frankie song mix on YouTube for one of my passengers earlier, a young lady.
Nice.
It's
What'd
a good mix. Frankie does a good dance. She didn't have much to say about it. I was like, listen.
You made her listen. You held her captive.
Yes, that was one good part about driving Lyft. I'm polite. I ask people if they want to hear music or not, though otherwise
and
they are
inside them with Frankie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They're at my mercy of my music selection and whatnot until they get to their destination. And one time the other day, about a week ago, I was having issues. My account was on hold, blah, blah, this and that. And I wasn't able to, the gas stations, the 7-Elevens almost never take their app payment system. They weren't accepting Apple Pay. They only accept Samsung Pay at a lot of the gas stations. So I was ran out of gas and I had to get the passenger to pay for the gas. And I got him to buy me some bottles of water too, because I was like, well, we're just going to be stranded here because I don't have any payment method on me right now. And he ended up paying for it. He was real friendly about it too. Everyone's been real awesome out here for real.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
They have
a lot of good people. It gives me faith in humanity for the future. I understand there's war out there and a lot of stuff is unforgivable. Like I know, like Michael sees his hometown being destroyed and that sort of thing, and it's like I can't imagine what that would be like. And of course, people want to have revenge and are not going to just like. It's hard to forgive and forget sometimes when you're personally affected by things, but at the same time, driving so many different people from all different types of walks of life, people just want to have comfort, prosperity. Everybody wants the same type of stuff. People don't want I don't think people want the violence.
Girls just want to have
drugs
fun.
And rock and roll. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, yes, sir.
That used to.
And that you're here for that. It's cool outside in my area, Sydney, Nova Scotia, as of right now. It's going to rain on the week late Saturday into Sunday. Then it's going to clear up again on Sunday evening in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And in Vancouver, British Columbia, it's really, really dry. Right now, it's going to get a lot of rain later on in the month because I watched the Cape Breton Eagles game tonight. There's another Cape Breton Eagles game against Somerville Volunteers tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Atlantic time, 3 p.m. Pacific time.
Did they win tonight, Frankie?
They tried their best. They lost. Sudden death overtime against Charlottetown Islanders tonight.
They didn't do very well last year, did they, Cape Breton Eagles?
They tried their best.
They tried. Their best. Participation awards for everyone.
Well, I like that. That's Frankie's attitude, because when you watch a hockey team, I don't necessarily always care if they're winning or losing, as long as it's not terrible. It
should be a good game.
Just like to watch I just want to see a good game. Brandon Houck, he gets to see a lot of good games out there in Brooks, Alberta. How are the Bandits doing this week?
Well, they're winning 6 in a row, so we're on a winning streak again. So here we go again to another winning streak.
Looking to repeat national championship?
Oh, possibly. 3 years in a row. That'd be pretty impressive.
3 cheating.
Oh yeah.
It's like Kraft Hockeyville down there. Like you need to get something going on, man.
Oh yeah. We had we actually did host the national championship in 2019, and I could tell you that was that was a success. Even the folks who from all across Canada, we're going to probably be hosting quite a few more events in their future. So, oh yeah.
Hey,
so much for.
Hey, Joel.
Go ahead, Frankie.
There's a lot of telephone poles still leaning in Sydney, Nova Scotia for Hurricane Fiona, and down the Whitney Pier area, they're just replacing more telephone poles today because of leaning telephone posts, getting rid of the old telephone posts, replacing with a telephone post. It's going to take a long time to clean up from Hurricane Fiona that hit my area on September 24th.
But yet they're able to play hockey again already. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good news. Olivier, what kind of hockey goes on in Kugluktuk?
I think Olivier's gone, man.
He's gone.
Yeah. You scared him away.
No, he vanished.
It is worth noting that nothing will separate Canadians from hockey. So power can be out, doesn't matter. We'll find something frozen to, huck rocks across.
Yeah.
Hello, Kugluktuk RCMP. We're looking for Olivier Forbouillon. We're afraid he might have been attacked by a polar bear.
And did you hear about that tomorrow at 4 p.m. I get an interview with Base Guy Show on Patreon and YouTube at 4 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Time.
Did Jack Casey Base Guy ever get a brand new computer, Frankie?
Not yet.
Struggling along. Base Guy Show. He's a personal favorite of Frankie Mcdonald. He really loves Jack Casey, the Base Guy, down in Montreal.
Dear Lord, does he ever?
And you guys out there subscribe. It costs $5 a month Canadian to subscribe. Base Guy on Patreon.
That's also $1.50 American money.
Yes.
Base Guy. How's he been doing, Frankie?
He's doing great. I'm on his show on every Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time.
We have no flow today. We are a lumpy, jerky bunch of jerks. Zero flow, zero cadence. We just suck and have no chemistry at the moment. I don't know what the hell's going on with all of us.
Oh, I thought this was actually pretty interesting show.
I didn't say it wasn't interesting. I'm just saying we got no flow, man. Hey, speaking of no flow, where the hell did Gabriel go? Kid disappeared. He vanished.
Everybody's back.
Holy. Hello, Toronto RCMP. They don't have RCMP in Toronto.
OPP, Ontario Provincial Police.
OPP, you know me. However that song goes.
Hello, OPP. I'd like to report missing RCMP and Gabriel Berardo. What kind of demonic Halloween monsters got them?
I like that Brandon's down with OPP. Brandon, my dear, you just got that much more interesting.
I hear that song every day. Come on now.
OPP.
Now for the ladies, OPP means something different. It's the longest, luckiest theme. I call it the Lemus.
Sometimes Brandon even hears the drummer get wicked.
Wicked spit hot fire. Get it. I don't know. I had a freestyle in my mind earlier, but I forgot it.
But at least you tried to bring it back.
Yeah.
I think that's the whitest white guy thing you've ever done.
I got a black soul, even though I'm white.
My freestyle be like,
yeah, a black Mexican soul. I got a black Mexican soul. I get along well with the Mexicans.
I'd be like, what are you talking
Those
about?
are my peoples.
Be like, hello and yo, my name is Joe. It's off to the principal's office I go.
Joe Stover is still in the bear season right now.
They get to see polar bears up there.
On November the 18th.
It's been so long since we've had Joe Stover on the show.
He's really busy because of polar bear season.
What does he do with the polar bears?
He drives a tank, and tourists all sit in the tank, and they drive through polar bears and look at them. And the tourists take pictures. They spend a lot of money.
What? Really?
That's what they do. Yeah.
He seriously does polar bear tours?
Yeah, man.
This is his season right now. His season ends on November 18th.
And then he fuels the airplane up to see the tourists off.
So guys like the mayor.
The guy's like the mayor of Churchill. Okay, no polar bear will ever kill Joe Stover.
On the ball.
Kind of wish he was a little more like the previous mayor of Toronto. That guy was awesome.
There's some Juice Man lyrics where he talks about polar bears like a cold bear.
What?
Well, this has been another week of the Comedeoro-logical report on Seeker 88.7 FM, CKW 95.9 FM. We've been here with Brian Schmidt from Portland Weather Uncensored. We've been here with Pete Galanko down in Colorado. Thank you to our American contingent. And we've been here with Imogen Cookie Bailey down in Victoria, British Columbia. We've been with Brandon Houck over there in Brooks, Alberta. We did have Olivier Forbes-Bouillon up in Glucktuck. We did have Gabriel Berardo in Southern Ontario. I don't know where those two did go. It's off to the principal's office I go. And we have Frankie Mcdonald, of course, the star of the show. Frankie, how does everyone find you on the internet?
My Twitter is @FrankieMcD. My Facebook is Frankie McDonald. My Instagram is FrankieMcD984. And my TikTok is FrankDown984. My Clapper is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My Snapchat is Frankie MECDON. And my YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. And my LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald.
Hey, right on. It's been a fun show. Thanks for tuning in.
Be prepared. Get the book, get the bobbleheads, get the action figures, and raise your good cookie fortune. Get your chicken balls, order your Chinese food. Love y'all.
That was weird. Cool.
All right. Bye now. I actually liked it.
Awesome.
What did I miss at the beginning of the show?
Just me talking about weather.
Canadian weather.
When did you come in?
It's almost good if the first 15 minutes is like, because I want to have some form to the show before it breaks into just total conversation. I like the second half of the show being very open and free. I like the first half being kind of segmented.
So are all the fires out now, Joe?
They're not calling me.
That's good.
Yeah, it sucks.
Saw 2 bad car accidents today alone. I see bad car accidents every day. I would have made it right on time, right when the show started, but there was a car accident on the interstate blocking one of the lanes, so the traffic was backed up. Every single day, a lot of people's cars out here are screwed up, and I swear to God, they don't enforce license plates in Denver. There's no license plates on a lot of cars, so it's just like a lot of times the police will just stay in clusters at nighttime and just are like, y'all on your own. Is the philosophy out here nowadays. It's like the Wild West. It's crazy.
Well, and you think it's so rude of people. It's like everyone's got things to do. Everyone's going places. They're trying to get to McDonald's and get their burgers and whatnot. It's like rush hour. And then I got to go have an accident. Now you got to slow down for stupid old me.
Well, I don't know if it's just people with car troubles, but I mean, also like
I got a crappy car. Everyone's got to slow down now. Your day's ruined.
Yeah,
that's why I live on the
number
mountain,
2
man.
in opiate overdoses. So it's just like you gotta adapt to your surroundings. Like I don't judge people, but I mean, there's a lot of sleepy, drooling people out here. That's all I got is
I judge people. I just don't really care.
I'm just saying it's like I pray for those people. I wish them happiness and wellness. So I hope they stay off the road.
I wish no one happiness and wellness.
But man, it's like there's Dave Chappelle skit. Ohio's up there too, where he's talking about all the sleepy white people, and I don't know. The legalization of weed has been a blessing and a curse in Colorado because it brought a lot of people here to begin with, so it became like a centralized area for stuff beyond weed also. So it's just like a little bit crazy though. Honestly though, it's been from what I experienced a really kind culture though, where people have a really good community spirit though. I don't know.
All I know is I fucking like weed.
Well, yeah. It's nature's candy, man.
Nature's candy, man.
Yeah, that was a productive show, I thought. Pretty fun.
For sure.
Actually, we had like some really good weather talk at the first half. We had some really good war talk.
We did. Cool.
There's there's so many interesting names of roads in this state. I get selfies at all sorts of ones. I got a selfie at Hooker Street the other day. I got a selfie at Beach Street. I got a selfie at there's Moorhead right down the road from me. Like a lot of the names of the streets out here crack me up for real. This is the most bizarre state. I swear to God, you come to this state and you'll start driving around, and you'll see the street names, and I'll be like, this state is just like the most bizarre state. People are a bunch of space cadets out here for real. The street signs, the store names, it's just like, y'all for real. This is like it's like GTA 6, but without the violence. Like, I don't know. Well, I mean, there's some violence, but it's just like the most bizarre. Like I'm telling you, it's like out of a movie. Sometimes you see how ridiculous the human beings out here be. It's just so absurd. I get along with everybody, but boy, there's I got a dude that looked kind of like ET the other day to throw up a peace sign while I held a banana to represent our "We Come in Peace" message. Just in instead of shooting, you know, is the new wave.
Well, that's it's 8 o'clock, and that's all the material we need for the show. And yeah, might as well call her a night.
Send me the picture of Hooker Street.
All right, yeah, I think I've taken multiple pictures of Hooker Street so far.
Yeah. Anything that sounds dirty, send it to me. I have an outlet for it.
And then there's like Hot Mama's Burritos on Hooker Street is one of the places on Hooker Street.
Oh, fuck yes.
I'll tell you, you go drive down Hooker Street and just look at, like, I'll send you some more pictures from Hooker Street.
Please
but it's just like the entire street is just like people are great in Colorado. Like, people like I don't know, have really good humor in regards to like are cool about stuff, or they I don't know.
Colorado is one of the areas that I'd love to move to. Colorado or Texas.
People really aren't judgmental about whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it's just like honestly bizarre. Like, and there's hair on street and shit like that. Is like that. Like, I don't excuse my language, but I mean, there's like, that's not my thing. But at the same time, it's just like, do what it do out here. I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah. And honestly, the police of this state, I've seen some videos on Twitter where there's like the Antifa people showed people, and it was like almost like Taliban, Al Qaeda torture of people putting bags over their heads in like Boulder County. But at the same time, though, I haven't seen that in person. In person, it seems like the cops really just keep to themselves in this state and leave people alone unless it's like an accident. Like, it seems like the cops are like, unless there's a traffic accident or like some other type of emergency, they just let stuff be nowadays. And I swear to God, it's a lot of cars that just don't have any license plates on it at all. So it's just like, I guess they don't even enforce tolls sometimes. And I don't understand if they even enforce carjacking sometimes, if it's like finders keepers successfully steal a car. Like, because like, if you just steal a car and then you take the plates off the car and the cops don't enforce that there's no license plates on a car, I guess they'd still be able to identify the car through other ways. But I don't know. It seems like the police of the state have just started taking a hands-off approach, to be honest. I can't relate to that because in Virginia is a big military state. So in Virginia, there's like, police have license plate scanners. You'll get pulled over like that if your license plate is just expired. Here, they just don't care.
It's because they're all baked.
Yeah, in Virginia Beach, like, the cops will chill after a certain hour and let people be. So like, they'll get you during the daytime for even just tips and whatever reason, get their ticket money and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know. Anyway, it seems to be an oddly decent balance, though, in this state. It's like, it seems like it shouldn't work. It seems like it should, like, I don't know. It seems like almost like too, what is the word? Almost too, what is that word for no rules government?
Anarchy?
Yeah, it seems like it's almost too anarchist in some ways, but it actually somehow works somehow. Like, I mean, there's a lot of overdoses, this, that, and the other, but it's just like,
that's what makes it work.
But at the same time, it's just like, oddly, things keep on going, even though it is like, honestly,
it's cold.
Yeah.
The people who cause more, like, the biggest problems in other areas, the people who, like, rioters and whatnot, who get real shitty and ruin everything.
Well, I think they did have riots and stuff like that in the past year, and then they sort of, like, before I moved here.
Yeah, it's cold. They burned out real fast.
And then I think at a certain point, both the people and the police just said, "Screw it!" Like, it just like,
and it's cold.
Yeah, and it's just like, people get it. It's just like, I don't know, people working. There's junkies that are going to be junkies. There's people that are going to like do what they're going to do, and people just like stay in their own lane and let it be what it be, you know. So it's all like, I don't know. It's not all peaches and cream, but at the same time, it seems it's an oddly good balance. Though I think Virginia Beach is a little bit more civilized. No offense to Coloradoans, but I feel like it's a little bit healthier balance in Virginia Beach, though I love this state also. people are there's more diversity in Colorado, but Virginia in general, but Virginia Beach, people come to Virginia Beach just to have fun. So a lot of people are on like a real calm wavelength where it's a little bit hustle and bustle, which is nice. So people out here are real cool too. I've gotten used to the city wavelength.
Wrap so I can eat some snacks and prepare to make the show, actually make the show, which is like the show making after the show making that has to be done, and then the uploading of the show, and then the sending of the show to the radio, and all that. And if anyone's still listening out there and hasn't subscribed to Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude channel, please do. Thank you very much, Brandon and Imogen, Pete, and hopefully see you guys next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, have a good weekend, everyone.
Okay, bye.